The following graduation thesis aims at valorizing a linguistic element existing in different languages, yet often overlooked in study programs, i.e. onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is a figure of speech imitating a sound or a noise from a living being, a natural phenomenon, an object, or an action, to the phonological system of a given language. This term derives from the Greek onomatopoeia, where onoma stands for name and poio for I make, therefore it indicates the imitation of a sound. Onomatopoeias have been studied by psychologists and linguistics, and some researchers believe that they might have been the first form of language used by our ancestors to reproduce surrounding sounds. As language and communication evolved, onomatopoeias became the basis of actual words. In-depth analysis on onomatopoeias and sound symbolism in Europe began at the end of the 19th century, whereas in the following century, Ferdinand de Saussure's theories minimize the importance of onomatopoeias. Onomatopoeias are fundamental for children since they are one of their first contacts with language. Besides conversation, it happens through books which present onomatopoeias and/or images and/or text. The most common onomatopoeias tend to consolidate in a language, be included in dictionaries and recognized by people even when they are in a foreign language. As regards the written form, their transcription depends on the alphabet of each language, meaning that the same onomatopoeia might be written in different ways depending on the language. As time passes by, some words gain sound symbolism and become onomatopoeias, while others lose it and become non-onomatopoeic words. Since there are different onomatopoeias in different languages for the same action, this means that onomatopoeias are translatable. Indo-European languages are deemed poor in onomatopoeias. English is a particular case as it has many onomatopoeic expressions and many terms originating from onomatopoeias which have lost their iconicity. Therefore, it is difficult to establish if English is rich in onomatopoeias or not. Japanese has between 2,000 and 4,500 onomatopoeias. This Japanese tendency to opt for sensory expressions instead of analytic ones lies in the belief that human feelings cannot be properly communicated in words, as they are not powerful enough to conceptualize emotions. Therefore, Japanese onomatopoeias are inevitably connected to their culture, lifestyle, and mindset. In Japan, using onomatopoeias may be compared to gestures in Western culture in that they reinforce the fadic function. Onomatopoeias are the way Japanese express themselves, meaning they are no less sensitive than others are. Nature is particularly rich in sounds that can be transformed into linguistic expressions, including animal sounds, which are a consistent part of child language. Some languages have a particular relationship with nature. According to some research, animal sounds breathe, they have animus, wind, so they end with a vowel, whilst inanimate sounds end with a consonant. Although the referent is the same, onomatopoeias may vary from one language to another. In fact, each language imitates the sounds on the basis of its alphabet. For example, there are some combinations of letters which may result more difficult in a language. In other cases, there are onomatopoeias or phonemes which are universally accepted. Translating and adapting are two complex and delicate but at the same time fundamental activities. The problem of translating and adapting onomatopoeias exists both in oral form, when the aim is dubbing an audiovisual product, and in the written form, for instance for comic books. Translating may lead to a semantic and informative loss, especially when the prototext presents cultural aspects that cannot be imposed on the target culture. It is not a question of different speakers transcribing differently a given sound, but of a language using an auditive figure of speech for a situation which do not emit sounds. The final objective is finding a compromise and making the sound as much as natural as possible. Moreover, onomatopoeias remain a little-known field, despite, thanks to linguistic studies, we can count on more and more recent and reliable data. According to the researcher Stanislav Vasilevich Voronin, by chance some languages have equivalent onomatopoeias. Unfortunately, untranslatability is a harsh reality not only for translators. Cases of untranslatability and misunderstanding have always existed and will always exist. proving the amazing diversity which divides and connects languages and cultures.